he go back in the house, that house has fresh air, because it is old house and there is no air conditioning. Deplete, let's call the fresh air as oxygen, depleting the oxygen, like the recycling or air cycling of the freon air conditioning. Supply retain, and there is no ventilation, so it is depleting the fresh air. If there is people like per even 3 square meter or 2 square meters, like in the classroom maximum. So sometimes the classrooms half square meters, so at that time maybe 20 square meters can take 30 students or 40 students at some areas. I'm talking about schools. So this crowd location, if there is air conditioning circulating, it requires the maximum amount of fresh air, like in the theater, cinema theater, 30 CFM as per ASHRAE, whatever. So what is the ASHRAE standard for such classroom with half square meters or 5 square feet? Okay, so it must be very high. So now is about the narrator, which is the novel writer. He emphasized the using of the fresh air or living in fresh air. So inside the novel there is the method which is already patented, but he chose with the IP lawyer in Kuala Lumpur. It was registered in Malaysia, it was registered in USA, it was registered in Saudi Arabia. But believe me, until now the narrator doesn't know what happened to that patent, and it isn't any importance for him to know or even to use that number. Just here say that it was patented under this number. But the most important for that method, which is LEFA, less energy all fresh air, and it has a lot of proofs, proof of concept. In the novel itself, the proof of concept is there, that the people at that from 62 until the time he left, which is 76, that narrator, which call himself Raja, he was living in the fresh air, evaluating the fresh air after how many years, discovering the fresh air importance and discovering this registering this patented LIFA in after it has the winning prize when it was presented in ITEX 14 in Kuala Lumpur. So it was presented there and win the gold in the environmental and energy. So, and also it has a company, and it has also the narrator, he called himself Raja Rawi, Jinn, which is ghost, whatever call it. The Jinni is Jinn is ghost. This ghost either evil or nice ghost. All of this is written in this, even the name. His name is Rawi, it means narrator, and from Jinn, the letter Ja, it means ghost, and the letter Na, like the letter A, he called himself Ana, or A Ana. So Raja, R J A. And also there is about this name, the letter J is Jeddah. He is living in Jeddah, or he has done all the experiment or the proof of concept experiment in Jeddah. The R can be return on investment. The R is return on investment. So R, his name, R, return on investment. J is Jeddah, where the location of experiments, location of all the experiments that is considering as proof of concept, and there are many videos from Jeddah. And also A is the first letter of his name, Raja. So he called himself Raja, and in the Sitt Shamiya you will find Sitt Shamiya novel, you will find his write up in Arabic about the story, and the novel is a story, and it will be translated to English, but as the title of the stories of novels, the technique of writing novels, because the PhD study is about patent versus novels. By the way, versus, we have it XI. So XI, it means versus. If you look at the landscape competitive advantage schedule, if you want to invent, you have to make like that schedule, like that table, competitive advantage. So we are comparing writing up the novel to for any invention or new idea, or to write up patent. And we are putting 7 advantages, analyze that advantages. Here we go, that you can go to the level of a PhD study. So this recording is part of the proposal. So to transfer this lecture, so the PhD proposal is not difficult to write, because writing according to the technology of this novel is very simple. You just talk. Try to talk about your idea. Then you go to any program, put it, transfer this talk, this audio, paragraph or audio lecture, transfer it to letters. Very simple. And then when you get it in English, so you talk in English, because the patent also, you are requested to do it in English. So instead of writing in English, you talk. This is one of the biggest benefit that making it easy. And guess what? When you talk in English in the novel, in our technique of making your idea as patent, to register it for 50 years, so you only talk. Then we will take your talk, we try to understand it before we go to write up. If we see